Okay, folks, this person is telling this fantastic story. I can't stitch the video because she doesn't allow stitching, but this is a great story. So if you see her, please go watch the story. It's hilarious. But this couple has actually reached out to her after their wedding and asked her to pay them $150 for their meal at the wedding. Okay, so those of you who don't know me, my name is Shantae. I'm a wedding and events planner in the Southern California area. I've been in the business for over 20 years, and I like to help people plan the wedding of their dreams, regardless of their budget. But this is a bit insane. Look, I always talk about what your budget is. Budget is super important. So when you look at your budget, you should only spend what you actually can spend, not what you think other people are going to pay you for that. A wedding is not something that you invite people to pay for, especially not a surprise afterward. If you expect your guests to pay for their meal at their wedding, say for instance, in this case, they went to a restaurant and the guests ordered food. If you're doing it in a sort of non-traditional way, meaning you're not paying for the whole reception or all those things, and you expect people to pay for their individual meals at your reception, please let them know ahead of time. Surprises are not good for anybody. Because if I am expected to pay for my meal at a wedding, you can expect me to decline. And that's going to be the case for most of your guests because they're expected to pay for a meal and buy you a present and show up and do all these things. That's a lot. And for a lot of people, they have kids. Now they're getting a sitter and now you're paying to go to somebody's wedding. A lot of people would just say, you know, we wanted to be there to celebrate with you, but if I have the option of not going and not paying, I think I would say not going, not paying. Please tell your guests ahead of time. Tell them if they're paying for anything. Tell them if there is a cash bar. Tell them if there is parking that they have to pay for. Tell them if there is valet costs. You need to disclose this information to all of your guests. You should not be expecting your guests to do anything. They are invited guests. So unless you tell them what you expect from them, they're going to expect that they're going to show up as a guest and that everything is taken care of for them because that is the standard for weddings. Now, if you want people to pay for stuff, tell them. Now, personally, I'm not going to your wedding if you ask me to pay for anything. That's not the case. I'm not cool. I'm not okay with that. Now, I will go to a destination wedding because I love a destination wedding. That's just me personally. Give me an excuse to travel. I'm all there. Absolutely, right? But you'll notice that couples who do destination weddings, they will often say, we don't need a gift. You don't need to pay for anything. And yes, you do have to pay for your hotel and your airfare, but they will often find ways to discount it. Like our family was able to discount the cost of the rooms for our guests so that they didn't pay full price. There were some things we were able to kind of compromise on, and we absolutely said, please don't buy us any gifts. We don't need anything. So your gift is the gift to us. And then once they got there, everything was covered at the resort. So that's something we were able to do, but you may not have that. If your budget does not allow you to pay for a big fancy wedding, then don't have a big fancy wedding. Getting married is not your chance to prove to people that you are doing it big. Getting married is about you and your partner committing to each other. And that does not have to have any of these sort of stereotypical big things that people have at weddings. It's whatever the hell you want at your wedding. It's your wedding. And if you can't afford that, then maybe you postpone until you can afford that. Very popular trend is people just going to get married at the courthouse or getting married privately with an officiant so that you're married and then you can plan and save to have the big party later on. That's okay. That's allowed. Nobody's mad at that. If you want to have the big party, but do it with your own budget. Save and do that. And if you don't, and you want to have the big thing, and you expect other people to pay for it, just tell them. Just close it up front so they get to make that choice. No surprises after. Now, I will admit, there are some cultural differences to certain things. In some cultures, it is expected that family members are going to put money towards the wedding. So if you are Filipino and Catholic, there are family sponsors and your uncle and aunt might sponsor the cake. You might have a family member who sponsors the DJ, but this is expected. It's known up front and these people sponsor those things before the wedding happens and they are honored in the wedding and the reception as sponsors, as people who took care of those things for the wedding. It is also expected that if my auntie and uncle covered my wedding cake, for my kids, I should do the same for somebody else's kids, right? It's reciprocated. So don't expect people to pay for your wedding. Don't expect them to get you a gift. That is not a requirement either. Those are things that we appreciate, right? But don't do this. Don't do this. This is tacky. It's tacky. It's bad. It's bad taste. And it means you're going to lose some friends, because if you tell your friends after the fact that they have to pay you, one, they're either not going to pay you, or two, they're going to pay you and be nice, or three, all of the above, they're not going to just not be a friend of yours anymore. You just ended the friendship. So you decide if charging your friends for a wedding is worth losing your friendship. Your choice. Just tip, don't do this. Just don't do it. Just bad.